Hey everybody, good afternoon. It's Jeff, the business guru, coming to you late from Manila. Speaking to a gentleman today in Italy. And if you want to be on Stars on Spotlight and be famous, like our next guest already is, why not reach out? Think about it, guys. It's $30,000 for a TV commercial, $20,000 or more in other countries, or it can be 10 radio spots can set you back between $3,000 and $5,000. So you can come on Stars on Spotlight totally free. I got a bad throat from talking all day. And we'll put you across 14 different platforms, guys, including YouTube with all your social media links. And people all over the world can see you'll get a better exposure than what you would with that $30,000 TV commercial. Anyway, on to our next guest, who's an interesting gentleman. He's from, I haven't had a guest from Italy yet. My first one. I've got a few from Europe, lots from England, mainly from USA because it's a big cut place. But today we've got a lovely guest, and his name is, it's a tongue twister for me, and he'll correct me later. It's Peter Faleskini. And Peter, his role is a mentor and coach. The company is Orgon Wellness. And the industry, of course, is wellness. And he's been in this industry since 1997. You can count on your fingers how long that is, guys. It's coming up on 20 years, I believe. Brief description of the business. Orgon Wellness is Wilhelm Reich's idea of Orgon expanded into the modern world, full of technologies that engage people to the extent that we all have become more separated from our inner selves and nature than ever. And isn't that so true, guys? Right? It's aimed at people striving to be independent thinkers who can function well in society, aiming to be the pillars of the future society. Okay, personal motto. Not everything that shines is gold. How true is that? You heard of fool's gold, guys. And not all mud is dirty. And guys, I can tell you, if you argue with the pig likes it because you're rolling around in the mud and he enjoys it more than what you do. Key achievements or projects, countless personal transformation, a 12-step coaching program, numerous books, working online, accumulator, and then Orgon Wellness Retreat. So he's a very interesting gentleman. And good, where is it? What, morning where you are, Peter, I imagine?
Yes.
Yeah, evening here, morning for you. So good morning, Peter. Welcome to the show. And let's get this underway. Tell us about your journey and what inspired you to pursue your current career. How did this all begin?
Thank you very much, Jeff, for inviting me on your show.
You're most welcome.
And let me start how I started. I used to think that I need to be a business person and everything. So my family and everyone were heavily involved in business. They still are. And so my goal was first to be in IT. So I made my first web shop in 97.
Wow.
And from this web shop, I had to, because um, accepting credit cards online in 97 was not as trivial as installing PayPal or similar right now.
Sure.
So our bank demanded that we have a special dedicated server on their premises according to their standards, security standards, and that took us a better part of the year and
Wow.
countless meetings. So that is how somehow I got involved in banking, not even wanting to do that.
Yes.
And then I spent another 25 years in investment banking, where I invest in different energy-related projects, trade, construction, and of course, that was the, let's say, more so good-looking part of the business. But there's another part of the business that is called too much work, not enough personal life, and
Yes.
of course, after 25 years, it resulted in burnout.
Yeah, no
So
doubt. Yeah.
my burnout was part of doing the wrong thing, not understanding what I want in my life. And I was 40 years old
Yes.
and had
Wow.
a bucket list of things I wanted to do. They were mostly trivials that I never got to do, even if I had enough resources to do it.
Yes.
Only I did not dedicate time to that because I didn't think it's important, because my next business goal was the most important thing in my life. So I
Yeah.
also destroyed a couple of relationships, marriages, all this stuff. So,
Yeah, that's right.
uh,
Yeah. Yeah, your children
but
don't know. Your children don't know who you are because when you go to work, they're in bed. When you come home, they're in bed.
yes.
Yeah.
So luckily the mothers knows because they want their money. But
Yeah, correct. That's what
that
you're trying
is
to do. You're trying to be out there and support the family, right? It's a bit of a treadmill for society, guys, actually. You
yes.
know.
But luckily I've experienced burnout, and the burnout also resulted in a bankruptcy procedure. So I had to go on a reset course,
Yes.
start looking at what's wrong with me, why this happened to me, what did I did wrong, and all this stuff. And I've discovered that there's a thing called midlife crisis.
Yes.
And so there is the midlife crisis is it used to be really popular in the end of the 60s and beginning of
Correct.
the 70s.
Correct. Yep.
But then the science discovered that there are like 100 symptoms to midlife crisis. So they started diagnosing each separate symptom. For example, depression is
Yes.
part of midlife crisis,
That's right.
and it's a completely separate topic
Correct.
nowadays.
Yep.
So it took me 240 weeks
Wow.
to go through all the therapies, all the workshops, all the
Goodness
stuff
gracious.
to get my head together a bit. And
Get back
then
together. Yep.
I would still I would still need or I would still plan in an old way, because as I found out during I'm also certified Jungian coach and stuff like that. So what I found out during my certification is that the basically, if you are in a high echelon of business, you're experiencing, or most of people experiencing, so-called post-traumatic stress disease, and that is that the body is so used to stress that it cannot live without stress. So you're
Wow.
causing
Wow.
yourself
Wow. Wow. So it's a catch
situations.
22, isn't it?
Yes. So you're causing yourself situations that will produce or result in stress. And it was like a treadmill. Like I could not just, it
Wow.
was a rat race again. I could not exit it until I got a really good therapist, and until I started certifying myself for a coach and a psychotherapist. And then I found out, okay, so you're doing a lot of things wrong, because you want adrenaline rushes because you're
Yes.
so used to live on adrenaline that
Yep.
your other, so that you're not able even to get on a dopamine rush for a prolonged period of time. You're not able to spike oxytocin and all this stuff. So it's basically um, it's in the body. So your body does not know how to produce the hormones in the right amounts
Almost like an
in order to
antidote,
make
isn't
it
it?
happen. So
You almost need an antidote, right?
yes, and luckily I was exploring organ energy, and
Yes.
I've discovered organ accumulator and
Yep.
recreated it according to the plan of Wilhelm Reich. And that helped me connect with my body.
Get back and
That
get the
helped
balance back.
me connect with my subconscious patterns that were
Yes.
making wrong, let's say, that were causing uh, I wouldn't call it suffering because that would be too much, but were causing to me to be unease and not being in a good mood and all this stuff. So
Sure.
not being grateful, not being happy, all these things that are important.
With your work,
And
what's been the most challenging part of your current work, and how have you overcome that?
basically, my work right now is really simple.
Yes.
Um, all I have to overcome, or the most, was feeling not ashamed, but lack of confidence because I do a lot of content and I have to be in front of the camera all the time. And
Yes.
then you have, or I did experience imposter syndrome. So
Yes.
I felt like I was not enough for that. And because I was in investment banking, I did coaching only to my clients and colleagues. I didn't feel adequate. However, that slowly faded away when my clients experienced really good breakthroughs and good
Fantastic.
results.
Yes. And
Um,
your confidence grew like practice. The more you practice, the better you get, right?
yes, but the confidence that there's this inner certainty that I have.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And it's easier for me because I was always confident. You could call it cocky even, because
Yeah.
I was in an investment banking business, and we all know that investment bankers are jerks, or we were.
We've all seen Wall Street.
And yeah, that's their way of doing things. So
Yes. Correct.
um, going out from being a jerk to being a nice, warm person that can help other people, like a coach, was a total transformation for me.
Fair enough.
And another thing that was really important for me was understanding my archetypes. So
Yes.
what do I really want? And
Yes.
that changed
You're finding your why.
how I plan my life.
Yes.
I used to plan my life, okay, I need to make $5,000 by Friday.
Funny you
And
say that.
then,
That's how I planned my life for 50 years. Same deal. And that was
yeah,
the figure, funny enough. That was the figure. That's weird. That's the very same figure.
yeah. So now what I do, I just have to record one video a day. Is it a short, or
Yep.
it's a longer, or I also have a podcast where I'm recording interview.
Sure.
My goal is now to have one interview a day, and everything else just somehow arranges around this, because
Lovely.
my prevalent archetype is creator. So I have to create.
Yeah. Fair enough.
And uh, so,
Tell us about an important moment in your career that pretty much changed your direction. I guess it was the burnout, yeah?
yes, the burnout was the most important thing, because my body said, I'm not doing that anymore. And my brain
Yeah.
was like,
And you start
nothing
and
makes
well
sense anymore. I
you were
don't want to be there.
forced. Sometimes you get, you know this yourself, you get what they call gut it when you're doing, even when you were trading, you get gut feelings. And those gut feelings are pretty bloody strong, right? But we don't always listen to them. And probably you were being told years before that you were heading for burnout and you weren't listening, like most people.
Yeah, basically what happens, I was lucky because I didn't do alcohol or drugs, because
Yeah,
most of my
correct.
colleagues did alcohol and drugs.
Yeah, that's
So
worse. Yeah.
they're still doing that.
That will destroy
For
you.
me, yeah, for me, it was fast food
Wow.
and a lot of sugar addiction. So I was severely overweight. I lost more than 40 pounds since I
Awesome.
started my turnaround journey.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And
I
I'm
think it's
proud of
interesting
it.
about people with their addictions because I know myself, I'm a gambler. I've been gambling all my life, guys, and big, I'm talking very big money. And there's certain things I don't do because I know I've got this addiction. I'm surrounded now, for example, by 6 casinos, right? And I don't go to these casinos because I know it'll start things all over again. Because my ego says, oh, I can win big, so I'll go and play big. So I don't go to the casinos for that very, very reason. I stay away from what I believe are weaknesses like your kryptonite, right?
Yeah, for me, it was leveraged business. As an investment banker, I was addicted to leverage business, and my goal was endless financial leverage
Yes.
and always have negative equity. So get paid before you have to pay your
Wow.
suppliers.
Awesome.
That,
Yeah.
that, that was my fetish. And right now, I'm completely out of that.
Yes.
Um,
And you're
I,
happy
I do a lot
you're
of
happier
business.
and healthier for it, obviously.
Yes, I do. What I do now is business leverage. For example, I write a book, and then every copy I sold, I have almost zero marginal cost, but every money that I make makes me profit. So the business leverage of a book is huge. Of course, it's not endless because there are not an endless amount of people that would like to read that book.
Yeah, sure.
And the same is with webinars and online masterclass that I'm preparing. These are all products that have huge business leverage because
Yeah, tools.
marginal
Yeah,
cost.
tools.
Yeah. And I avoid financial leverage. I have a lot of people asking me to invest in Orgon Wellness. However, I'm avoiding that as much as possible in order to stay fit and to be basically carefree. It's not carefree, but to have
I know
a
what you
lot
mean.
less to work.
Yeah, that's right. Less
Yeah.
stress, less worry, less stress. Tell me, how do you stay motivated now and continue to innovate others in your field like you've been doing? What's your secret there?
So I'm one of my archetypes, according to Jung, is explorer.
Yes.
And I explore new and new things. The organ energy is a huge thing, sorry, a huge field of exploration that
Mm-hmm.
we could do again because the works of Wilhelm Reich were lost or some were destroyed. So when I managed to recreate organ accumulator, I know that I'm on the right track. And
Yes.
I see a lot of people experiencing profound physical and mental changes using organ accumulator as a tool in my whole awareness scene. And I also use orgonids. These are special structures. I hope we can show it.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Like this.
Yeah, it's like a pyramid, right?
Yeah, pyramid shaped.
Yeah, it won't come up very well. There
Ah,
it is. Stop. You say. I'll tell you when. Or, no, it won't. Go back a bit. Go back a bit. Go back. Go back towards you. No, it won't come
yeah.
up. I think there. Stop.
Here it is.
Beautiful. There it is. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, it's like a pyramid. Yeah.
So this is a mix of uh, organic and inorganic substances
You're not getting my
or
listeners into a
materials.
pyramid scheme, are you? No, just kidding.
No,
I
no,
couldn't
no.
help myself.
The pyramid is just one possible shape.
Sure.
There are a lot of other symbols that you can use and a lot of crystals and stuff like this because
Yes.
our subconscious mind is trained to
Uh-huh.
believe in symbols. So
Uh,
if we add symbols in mix of our coaching, like a lucky charms and stuff like that,
yes.
these work. And that is why I'm using that in Orgon Wellness to
Yeah.
help people.
It's
Everyone has its own symbols because of the upbringing, of the movies they watch, of the books they
sure.
read. They
Yeah,
have
their
this
parents,
specific.
there's what they learn at school, which is only out of books, right? Yeah, and I tell people earlier, if your parents voted liberal, you'll probably vote liberal. If your parents believe in Jesus Christ, you'll believe in Jesus Christ, etc., etc. You know, sometimes it's our environment that puts our
Yes,
beliefs together.
and that is why I use what people already know and help them. Um, uh, Weaponize would not be the right word, but maybe use it as a tool. Because if you
Yes.
believe in Jesus Christ and that the Christ can help you,
Yeah.
let's do it. Let's
Sure.
let's
Sure.
let's build coaching around your belief of Jesus Christ, and
Correct.
let's use Jesus Christ as a savior, as someone who can guide you.
Yeah.
And of course, modern science would say this is intuition. Quantum field would say your magnetic field is preparing yourself for something better. But you can always say Jesus is hoping for the best for you, and
That's right. Well,
it's
it's belief. Well,
it's,
you
it's
believe, putting Jesus aside for a moment, your belief system is so important. As you said earlier about levels of confidence and all this type of thing. It's all part of your belief system. And I tell people, no one's coming to save you. This is not a rehearsal. This is your real life. You only get one. And if it's meant to be, it's up to me. You've got
Mhm.
to fix you. And that's what we've got.
I
Everyone's got
agree
to do.
100%. And what I try to coach people either in groups or in
Yes.
individual settings, um, identify your subconscious so
Yes.
that you understand what are the subconscious patterns that hold you back.
Yes.
Then I am a strong believer in blockages.
Yes.
For example, if you're not able to forgive someone
Yeah, true,
or
true.
something to
Yeah.
yourself, it's hard to go from there.
Yeah,
Then
you won't move forward. That's
gratitude
right.
is important. Gratitude is important, and grounding is important. And that are the main topics that I teach people how to do it
Very
in
good
our
points. I
coaching.
like it. Very good points. Tell me, what advice would you give someone who wants to follow in your footsteps?
It's so I'm not a big I study a lot of important people from history and celebrities from nowadays and entrepreneurs and stuff like that. But everyone has its own way. Everyone fights
Sure,
its own
that's right.
devil.
Their own journey, their own
So
depth. Yeah.
I do believe that the most important thing is um, gather information, start working on yourself. So psychotherapy, coaching, similar stuff is the single best way, or at least it was for me. I needed
Yes. Yeah.
240 weeks to get my head together. And I was, let's say, successful, or at least it seems so to the outer world, successful investment banker, driving around in jets
Yes.
and having software-driven cars and driving all the best cars and living next to the lake and all this stuff. But
Yes.
um, but my inner world was a complete mess, and
Yes.
because there was such a big discrepancy between the mask
Uh-huh.
and my inner world, um, everything fall apart, and I experienced burnout and bankruptcy because it was just too much for my inner world to handle what was going on. Even if society, my family, and everyone around me expected me to be a super good businessman,
Yeah,
but I'm not a
bounce
businessman.
back. Yeah, bounce back easily and get over it. Yeah, all that. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, but my archetypes, or who I really am, is I like to help people. I
Yes.
like to create things. That is why I create so many videos and articles, and I go on so many shows just to share my story.
Journey.
Because
Yeah,
I do believe that midlife crisis is one of the most underrated things
I
in
agree. Yeah,
society,
absolutely. Yeah.
uh, and we don't talk enough about it. So I'm here to talk about it. And
I feel especially for men because sometimes like your situation, the kids are in bed, the wife's staying home, you're making all the money, rah rah rah. The wife gets fed up after 20 or 30 years, she gets fed up, you get divorced, the kids go with the mother because that's who they know, and where does that leave you? You know, you're more or less back to square one. There's a lot of that happens in life. I'm not blaming you, I'm just blaming society, but it's just reality. I see it. You see it
yeah,
so often.
and there's another thing that is really important, and it's undermined. We're all listening just to grind, grind, grind mentality.
Yes.
And there's an antidote is just think good things, and everything will come to you. But it does not
Moderation,
work like that.
moderation. I believe doing everything in moderation, guys. You know, and I say to people, I used to tell people, you laugh, banks don't work weekends, so why do you? Weekends are for recharging your battery and, you know, enjoying your life. You've already given up 5 days of your life. Now have 2 days for you. And if you can, work 4 days a week and have 3 days for you. There's nothing guilty about that. Enjoy your life.
Agree. I really have a huge problem waiting for the weekend. That's why I'm taking my Wednesday off.
Well, funny you
So
say that. To me, every day. I went out with my girl last night to a beautiful restaurant, and we're going out tomorrow to another nice restaurant. Every day is a weekend for me. I choose my weekends because I'm self-employed. I play when I want to play, right? And that's how
yeah,
it
that is
is.
most important. But it takes a lot of confidence. And we spoke before we went live
Yes,
about that. It's really important. Maybe you don't need $1 million. Maybe this is not the case. Because
Mr. Big
for
Enough.
me,
Yep.
yeah. What I see and what I experience is it's wherever in US or Europe, if you make like 25 grand a month, you're well off. So
Yeah, absolutely.
5K
Yep.
a week, you're really good, well off.
Well, yeah, very
So
well.
going from 300,000 a year onwards. Okay, if you have an opportunity, if you have a huge business leverage and stuff like that, but if you have to assume a lot of risk, it might not be worthy. So
Yeah, correct.
it's maybe it's
You,
better to
you
start
sell your
little.
soul. Yeah,
Yeah,
basically you sell your
maybe it's
soul.
better to help your community.
That's right. Yep. Yeah, that doesn't hurt either. I'm going to wrap this up shortly. What advice? You probably covered that. Looking ahead, what are your goals and aspirations for the future?
I just want to live my life, and I want to inspire people that start um,
Enjoying
thinking
their
about
life.
midlife crisis
Yes.
as an opportunity to achieve midlife clarity. It's not the end of the world. Yes, maybe you get divorced, maybe you get in bankruptcy,
Yep.
but it's also a huge opportunity for
Yeah.
midlife clarity. And
Absolutely.
if you have your midlife crisis at 40 or 50 years old, you are halfway there. So it's
Yes.
it's just an experience. It's not terrible. And I needed 240 weeks to process everything. That
Yep.
is why I have prepared programs that you can do it in a group session in like 12 months, in individual sessions in 12 weeks. And of course, if you're experiencing midlife crisis, talk about it, get in support groups,
That's right. Yeah,
and
get it out.
and
Express yourself. You said, get it out. Express yourself. That's the trouble. Women live longer than us guys for a simple reason. They network. They get rid of the stress. They network with each other. Men keep everything inward, or as I said earlier, they hit drugs or alcohol or some other form of addiction as some sort of release. That's not the answer. The answer is that the help's there. And I'm not even talking about professional people. Sometimes your friends can help, reach out,
Mhm.
talk to people, reach out, um, Peter's available, I'm available, so reach out, guys, have a chat like Peter and I are doing today. It's a friendly chat, and it's fun, and we're both enjoying it, and you guys can enjoy yourselves as well. Make the effort. We're as close as the internet these days, so no excuse these days, guys, at all. Before we wrap this up, what I'm about to do, tell us a fun fact that most people don't know about you.
Cool, that's a hard one.
Nah, I'm sure there's plenty.
Uh, yeah, I'm also a farmer. That is one
Wow.
thing that is and I really like free range animals. That is why I work less on my business and more on my farm. And the
Fantastic.
farm is a complete net loss. So
Yeah, lovely. That's a very good thing to have. All right. Thank you very much for that. I'll be back to you in a moment. Guys, if you want to come on Stars on Spotlight and share your journey, just like now, wasn't Peter a very, very interesting guest? And think about it, guys. It's pretty deep stuff, but think about it. Everything he said made perfect sense. You don't need to trust the newspapers or the television, you know. And remember what I told you about the gut feel. When you got that gut feel, that gut's very strong. It's telling you something. If you feel like something's wrong, probably something's wrong. So get some help, go and get it checked out. You never know. So guys, you want to be on Stars on Spotlight, please reach out, and don't forget to like and love this channel so we can spread the word all over the world. We've got some fantastic guests who come on and tell their story, just like Peter has. So Peter, I'd like to thank you for being on the show today. It's been awesome having you, my friend.
thank you very much for the invitation.
What happened?